All right, so the end of chapter 7, Haman gets hanged, and then the last phrase in chapter 7 is, and the king's wrath subsided. So the king has his anger appeased by hanging Haman because he had this plot to kill his queen and all the Jewish people. And so now we get into chapter 8, and now it becomes the how do we fix this issue? Because in that day and age, when the king signed something and sealed it with his ring, it was irrevocable. You could not take it away. It's not like the king could be like, whoa, whoops, let me just go ahead and shred that. You couldn't do that. It was now law. No one could change it. So then the question then became, in the beginning, Esther comes back into the court. The king extends the golden scepter to her. She comes in and says, okay, this is the issue. I can't stand around while my people die. Like, I know I'm not going to die now, but how do I stand around here while my people perish? And so he says, okay, well, tell me what you want to do. So the king's scribes, the lawmakers, get together. And what they do to counteract the other one, because remember, they can't just revoke it. So what they do is they make a decree that same day, the Jews could fight for themselves. They could defend themselves. And they also had the ability to go after their enemies and to fight and to kill their enemies and then plunder or take all of their possessions. So what they were trying to do was they're saying they're allowed to attack the Jews, but the Jews are allowed to attack them as well. And so kind of evening the playing field, where the Jews before were not allowed to, they were just going to have to sit there and be slaughtered. So now what they're doing is they're evening that playing field so that they're ready to go in this time. So that happens at the end of chapter 8. Mordecai comes out. He's dressed royally. The king has honored him and given him royal robes and things like that to wear. So he comes out. The Jews are rejoicing. They're feasting. They're giving gladness or giving praises to God. They're glad. All these things are going on. And then the end of it, of verse 17, it says this: then many of the people of the land became Jews because fear of the Jews fell upon them. Now, it's not talking about fear of the Jews like, they're going to kill me, let me just become a Jew. The idea is that God was obviously working for the Jewish people. I mean, for this all to happen the way it's happened, God was obviously sovereign, and he's obviously playing the puppet strings to make sure that all of these things come to pass. And so these outsiders are seeing this and going, well, if their God cares for them that much, man, I want to be part of that. And so many of them become Jews because they see what God can do. They see the awesome God that the Jewish people were serving. And that's the application for us today, is do people see how awesome your God is? Or do they see you as just one of those people who, I didn't even know they were a Christian because they never talk about it, they never act it, so I just didn't know. Be someone today that at the end of your life, at the end of verse 17, if I can say it that way, many people will come to Christ because the fear or the awe, the reverential respect of your God fell upon them.